Today's episode is presented by Lodestar, the fee experts.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Lending Leaders. My name is Alayna Gardner, AMP, and this week, as my guest, I have Mace, or Chris Mace, from Mace Innovations, joining me to talk all about his mortgage journey and all the things, honestly. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, Chris. Can you tell me about how you got into mortgage?
Yes. Okay. So thanks for having me.
Of course.
I'm going to try and go fast. So first I had the best of my life. I worked 2 days at Dairy Queen and I was like, oh, hell no. And then so I found a temp agency and then I went to a company called Home Loan Corporation when I was 16, making copies. So I stood in front of a copy machine and copied files all day, removed staples, copies. And then they had Lotus
Love it.
Notes and they were like, hey, they're talking about some stuff there. And I was like, I was a cocky little kid, I was like, I know computers. So I was like, I went and made some reports and, then I learned about kind of at this point they had CISA and CIVA loans. I don't know, this is probably before you. Stated income, stated asset. So they had a liar's loan. And so anyway, I built kind of a product and pricing engine out of Excel where you'd put in all the different loan variables and it would spit out and go look at the LLPAs. And then I was Optimal Blue customer number 3, I think. So I knew Larry and Yvonne pretty well. And then I was in the commercial when Ben Strusan ran for Congress because he was the president of Home Loan. And so then I got involved on the operations side and then I went to Sendera Funding and then I was there for a while and I started Cloud Lenders and then I left there and I started consulting and I was like, all right. And when I started consulting, I was like, hey, I want to learn I want to learn tech. And so that way I can start a mortgage company again. So I didn't want to have anybody tell me that can't be done or it'll cost this much money or it'll take 3, 4, 5 years. And so then I started a mortgage company in 2017. It was fun. Left after a year. They're still in existence. I'm in their building. I still have a vested interest, but I love the tech side more. So I got back out and, here I am. When I was consulting in 2015, there's a little mortgage mecca here in Salt Lake. I lived in Texas. And so I had, Academy, PRMI, citywide home loans. And so in October 2015, I came here and whenever Trid was rolling out, met the compliance officer at Citywide Home Loans. She is beautiful. She's the mother of my child and my wife now. And now I live in Salt Lake. And ironically, I'm in the building now that they used to be in.
I love it. I love the full journey and the speed run. The speed run's great.
I was trying to save you
lots of time to talk about other things. So, you mentioned coming back to consulting and all of that. So you put a lot of emphasis in online and in sales into listening. And we even found a quote from you saying, if you don't listen, you don't close. So what would you recommend to B2B vendors who are trying to do a better job of listening and demoing?
Someone looked at LinkedIn. I think it's a simple answer, and it's ask a lot of questions. That's just that simple. And then actually listen when they answer your question.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's a really basic thing.
Yes.
And you're also, speaking of LinkedIn, you're eager to crowdsource your opinions. And I definitely see a lot of posts from you about, anxieties from Tom Brady, how to stay connected with your kids, and you're really looking for others to have an open and honest conversation online. So why is that so important to you, and why do you continue to do it time and time again?
So I think you'll notice my LinkedIn activity is a little bit kind of like, it's not exactly your typical LinkedIn. And I think I just kind of went with it. We were in a LinkedIn cohort first. You remember I was kind of like, I'm kind of we actually talked about this. I was kind of in that angry fuddy-duddy, like LinkedIn's a disaster. And I see, I talk on someone on the phone and then, they're talking about negotiating prices with me because there might be going under. And then I scroll on LinkedIn and there's a freaking President's Club in another country. And they're like, look at all these people. And I'm like, so it's just, I was kind of a little fuddy-duddy. So I was like, I'm just going to be a little different, have a little bit more fun. And then maybe just talk about some of the things that I think a lot of people, I've had a lot of really good traction, and I've actually had meetings and someone stopped me and just be like, hey, I just want to say that I like your content on LinkedIn. And I was like, oh, well, you should actually engage with it since I'd never heard of you. So I think this is kind of bringing a little bit of difference, but I think I am a question asker. It's funny that you just asked that question. And then, just kind of, get some feedback from everybody else to kind of see if everybody's kind of, or let people kind of be genuine.
Yeah, I think it's important. And I definitely think the first moment someone recognizes you from LinkedIn at a conference is like a weird moment, right? Like the
Yeah.
first time it happened to me, I was in an elevator earlier this year, and someone was like, I really like your content on LinkedIn. And this was like maybe a 15-second interaction, right? Like I wasn't able to see his name badge. I had no idea who this person was. And it was definitely one of those moments of like, oh, so I'm doing something that people are actually engaging with, even if I'm not seeing their name in the comment section or in the
Right.
likes, which I
Did
think
that
is
person
really
ever,
interesting.
did that person ever engage like or interact with your stuff ever?
Not that I'm aware of, no. And
Yeah.
like I've had a couple people like that. It's not like consistent. They're like, oh, I really like a lot of times it's the Thursday show, right? So I do a show called Thirsty Thursday if
Yeah.
you're watching Lend to Leaders and you're not familiar. As well. And a lot of times they're like, oh, I love your show with the drinks. And I think it's just so interesting to me that they don't engage, but in real life, they're so excited to get up and like compliment you in person and have a conversation and talk to you about LinkedIn.
I think, there's a lot of engagement. You just said that, he was engaging with your content, but actually never actually clicking the button. But there's a lot of unmeasured engagement that is long-term potential.
Yeah. So like for myself, I always measure views rather than like likes or comments, because to me, it's like, okay, well, if you're watching my content, even if you're not liking it, that's totally fine. That still counts, right? And that's still
Oh, you're talking
getting the
about like view
message of
time?
what I'm trying to say out there.
You're talking about like view time?
Yeah, the view time,
Yeah.
impressions, all that stuff. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Good.
All the other side analytics that come with LinkedIn. And with that in mind, one thing, I'm going to hop back in here to tech. And as the market's been improving, I think we've been seeing a lot more engagement, not only from lenders, but also tech vendors are starting to get excited because they're starting to see companies come off the fence and re-engage with their technologies, maybe start to do another demo and think about maybe is now the time to implement tech. How would you like to see lenders rethink their approach to buying and implementing new technology?
Ooh, okay. I think you may have seen the post that I did. It was one, at least just go look at what all's out there. I know that
Sure.
we say we're busy, but I think having a pulse on what's out there, like as a leader, I think it's your job to look at 100 solutions and say no to all 100. But you may say no to 99, and that one could change your company, right?
Okay.
So I think just at least being aware of what's out there. I mean, I've had a lender that I've been working with. What is it? It would be now 9 years, and they were like, "We're sorry, we're not looking at that new thing you have. Or just we have a mandate, no new contracts at all." And I get it, but I think it's take a look at least and be aware of what's out there. I think a lot of times in mortgage, which is positive, but when we do have this mindset of like, grit, baby, like we're going to get through this. And I'm like, okay, how are you going to do it? And like, do it the exact same thing we've been doing for 20 years. It's like, well, just go look and see what's out there and just at least start there, because I know everybody's kind of like still clutching the wallet, but be ready and kind of have all these things on deck.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's really important is it takes a lot of time to vet out a new vendor, right? As a lender, like, I mean, I say simple, but we're not, right? Like we're like operationally, we are a huge chunk of the workflow, but compared to other vendors, we're a simple lift, right? Or vendors. But I think something that I've really been pushing lenders to do is even if you're not ready, even if your budget is locked or whatever, take the time to look at the technologies that you might want to implement. So when your budget is
Exactly.
unlocked, you're ready, right?
Right.
You know what's on the market, you know what's happening, and you're going to be 6 months ahead of all the other lenders whose budgets got unlocked at the same time, right?
Right.
And so we have lenders that have done that, and we're now in the process of we're implementing them. They're going online, or we have scheduled implementation dates for 2025, right? And they're going to be so much further ahead than people that we're starting to talk to now. And they're like, well, we want to get this done really quickly. But in reality, really quickly in mortgage is really hard.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
So as we kind of close out here, I get to ask my favorite question that we get to ask in every podcast is a lodestar is a guiding light in the night sky. Who or what is your lodestar either personally or professionally. You can give both also. You have lots of options here.
Oh man, I'm so much better at the business stuff. Okay. I would say, been simple, like personally, it's always just been don't be a failure. We grew up, trailer park life. And so it's just like, I
Yeah.
just don't want to be that. I had a low bar. But then just the people around me have always, the people, I'm a big people person to a fault. But then now I have a 3-year-old and, I'm not going to get emotional on a podcast. She's my lodestar. She's my world. It's being a girl dad has been, life-changing for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to ask, what is her favorite TV show / film franchise / Disney princess?
Okay, so I'm gonna go on a tangent. This is gonna be the longest part of it.
It's okay.
So we don't let her watch Coco Melon or the annoying stuff, but I mean, we did the Daniel Tiger build up. By the way, if unsolicited parenting advice to everybody, Daniel Tiger, if you're gonna take your kid to the dentist, watch Daniel Tiger 3 times on that episode beforehand. Like the dentist is like, I've never seen a kid behave this well in my entire life. I've been doing this for 30 years. And so I don't know, just prep your kids up with Daniel Tiger episodes. But for Halloween, she wanted to be a rainbow unicorn butterfly princess. And so it's kind of she wants them all. So, but she was going to be Blue Elsa. That was going to be her thing. But, now she just wants to be, it depends on the day. You never know what's going to come
Everything depends on the day. Yeah. My niece this year, I think, she ended up pulling back from it, but for a solid 2 weeks, she was going to be a dinosaur princess. So we were logistically figuring out how to put the princess dress over the dinosaur costume. It was a very important situation, and she did show up to preschool today in a full princess dress with earrings and a necklace and a tiara because it wasn't worth the fight to take it off when I talked to her. It's fine. She is a princess.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny whenever, I want to be a dinosaur princess, the parents didn't say, well, sweetie, no. It was like, all right, how are we going to make this work?
Yeah, it's so easy to do. Like she's got 20 princess dresses. It's like, okay, well, we have a dinosaur costume, we have a princess dress. Let's figure out logistically. Very exciting stuff here. You found out the podcast. Well, if anyone wants to find you online, where can they find you, Mace?
LinkedIn, obviously you can find me there, or just you can go to maceinnovations.com or email me mace@maceinnovations.com.
Perfect.
Thank you for having me, Alayna.
Of course, it was my pleasure. And thank you guys all so much for listening. And we'll see you all next week.